Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, November the 7th, 2022. Monday, November the 7th, 2022. Well, it opens up, and actually, on a happy note, I was happy to see this scene. Laura comes to the PCPD to see Anna. And Anna's so worried. She said, "Oh my God, Laura, I've been so worried. Tell me about Valentine." And Laura says, "I'll do better than that." And she, beckons her hand there to the right. And who comes walking around but Valentine Cassadine? You know what? I like that bad boy. I really, really do. He has charisma and style and just that little bit of mystery. And, although he can kill some folks, but you know what? Hey, Anna's no saint either. So, oh, they give each other a passionate kiss. And he lets her know Charlotte is back with him. She's staying at Laura's house. Right now, Kevin is back there with her. And Laura says, "I have guards all around her." But you know what? Let's be real. Do you feel she is safe enough from Victor Cassadine just being at Laura's house? Because remember when they left Charlotte, and actually Laura wasn't around, she was off again. Kevin was taking care of Charlotte, and she wasn't supposed to open the door, and she ordered pizza. She thought it was pizza delivery. And that's when Peter August had her kidnapped. Okay. So I don't know if I trust the security of Laura's place for Charlotte. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, they're talking about, how grim things were looking, and they were going to transfer her to Pentonville, tonight. And so Valentine says, "I have a plan. Do you trust me?" And Valentine and Finn had already had their heads together. They're probably going to say Anna needs one of her treatments because she does have that disease. Remember, she has to have her medical treatments, her infusions or something done. So that's probably where they're going to plan Anna's escape, is when they transfer her to the hospital. Now, a guard did show up at the end of the show, and Anna says, "Are you here to take me to Pentonville?" And he goes, "You're not going to Pentonville." I think that was misleading the way he said it, so we could think, oh my God, Victor has somebody that's going to, intercede and take Anna. But no, Victor wants her in Pentonville. Like Anna said, once I'm in Pentonville, he can have me eliminated at any time. At any time. So, we shall see. It's going to be interesting. Finn is going to have something to do with the escape, and she'll probably be on the run for a few. Look, better on the run than in Pentonville. So, so anyway, then we finally got to see little Miss Esme, and guess what? I guess they realized the wardrobe malfunction when she first showed up was way too much. Now, that's about the size she should be, because she was actually bigger than Willow. Now they're about the same size. And I tell you, somewhere along the line, there better not be a baby switch here. There've been enough of that. Can't they come up with any other writing than some kind of baby switch? I guess I'm getting mad a little too early, but General Hospital can't help themselves. They just can't. Okay, so we shall see. Writers, don't do that. Use your brain. Come up with something else. Please come up with something else. So then Elizabeth is back home. Her and Terry came back to town. And guess who came walking down the stairs? But Cameron. I was so happy Cameron is okay. I said, goodness gracious. I just knew he was going to be hooked because he was so hard-headed, so hard-headed and getting home by himself. But Sonny does have guards outside Elizabeth's house and really outside, really watching him, because he well, no, probably watching the whole house because he was staying there with his brothers while Elizabeth was out of town. And he wasn't expecting her for one more day. But anyway, so, they had to talk. She didn't tell him, of course, everything she found out, but she just said she saw her parents and really didn't go that well. And she doesn't want to talk about it. But he came clean about Jocelyn. He says, you know what? I know what you said, but she did spend the night. Finn knows, but he wasn't going to tell you. But you know what? I did not want, this deception between us. He took it like me. He talked to her like a man. I like it. And so she's like, so I guess, excuse me, I guess that means you and Josh are back on track. And poor Cameron is just cheesing. Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. And poor Jocelyn is like, yeah, I thought that would have brought us closer together, but I guess it is what it is, right? So anyway, Cameron's going to be let down because he's going to be beat out by Dex. So Esme is still pouting. And, Nicholas is like, look, I have those doors still sealed shut for a reason. That whole little ledge is way too narrow for you to think you could escape on. And he goes, oh, but I know what you want to do. You want to get out there so you can yell, so somebody can hear you. Well, the staff is paid well, and they're paid to listen the other way and look the other way, So she's just, he's got the upper hand so far, so he thinks. Well, she has something he leaves. She does Jimmy open one of the doors. And she looks and she goes, ooh, that is narrow. And I am up high. So now she's tying a bunch of the bed sheets together, getting ready to try to Jimmy herself down to the next floor, break a window and get in that way. So we'll see. I mean, let's face it. There was going to be no room that could hold Esme. There really wasn't. And one thing Nicholas says, you know what? I'll have you in here to protect. I told you you were never going to hurt my loved ones again. And she's like, I told you I didn't do it. And he goes, you know what's interesting? There hasn't been not one single incident while you've been locked up here. That's saying something. So he leaves and she yet lets out this biggest scream tantrum, And now that's when she, later is plotting her escape. So tomorrow we're going to probably find out she does end up, because Laura is there and Victor is there at Windermere. So they're probably going to hear Esme, or not they, Victor probably will. Laura, they're not going to make Laura hear Esme because Laura would not go for Nicholas holding her hostage. Laura would simply turn her over to the police because, yeah, you're going to the police, girl. You're going to answer for your crimes. I'm the mayor. I'm not putting up with this. So anyway, we shall see what's going to happen with them. And Nicholas is still not wanting Victor to come, but Victor's like, no, I came to pick out my room. And then Victor tells him, you know what? I think I've overlooked you unjustly. I had my hopes that my son would be the one that I could, trust with my plan, but I think I'm going to bring you into the fold. And Nicholas is like, well, what are you doing? What's going on? What's the plan? He just want to know what you up to, Uncle Victor. But just then Victor's phone rings, and that's when he gets the news that Charlotte is gone and Valentine took her. And then Laura walks in right after Victor gets that news, and she says, hello, son. Hello, I'm back. You miss me? And Victor just looks at her, and she just looks at him, right? But before she got there, Laura, before she got to Windermere, let's see if this is, yeah, I don't want to get to, well, I might as well show it. She goes by to see Robert and Holly. And the deputy mayor was just spouting her, I am in control. And I understand you've been making phone calls to your contacts trying to get leniency for your ex-wife, and I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have you removed as the district attorney. And he's like, you can't dictate to me who I reach out to at all, because you're not the mayor, but I'm in charge. And if the mayor ever decides to grace us with her presence, and Laura walked in just as she's saying that. And Robert sees Laura coming in and he starts to smile. And Laura says, well, I am here. And her eyes got big because her back is to the door. And Laura said, gracing you with my presence. Oh, good to see you, Mayor Collins. And so she told her, she says, and I don't like the way you were talking to District Attorney Scorpio. See, he has had more years in law enforcement and, keeping Port Charles safe than you ever have. The people trust him because he told her, you can't fire me. I'm appointed by the people. And she goes, well, elections are coming up and we'll make sure whatever. And just by they said elections are coming up, guess who's going to make sure Laura doesn't get to be voted in as mayor again? Victor. Watch. He's going to rig the election, right? Rig it. Probably make his stupid deputy mayor the mayor. So anyway, Laura tells her, listen, and I trust DA Scorpio. So you're going to back off of him, right? And she goes, of course, Mayor, and Laura says, you know what? Holly, it is good to see you. And Holly's looking at Laura, good to see you too, Laura. And Laura says, you know what? I know you've been asked by a ton of people, and you're probably tired of answering this, but Holly, where have you been for the last 2 years? And she looks at Laura. And Robert butts in. Oh, she doesn't remember. She has a memory loss, so she doesn't know. And Laura says, really? Well, you know what? Why don't we make an appointment for you to go see Kevin? Kevin gets great results with helping people unlock those memories. No, that won't be necessary. And she goes, no, listen, Kevin won't mind at all to do this. Absolutely for you, Holly. And she goes, I said no. And Laura looks at her. She kind of looks up at Robert. Robert, and then the scene cuts. And then they come back. Holly's sitting in a chair with her head down, like, oh, no, I'm so sorry for snapping at you. It's just that she gave some lame excuse, right? And Laura says, well, you know what? I understand you've gone through a trauma, and sometimes it does take a little time. And she goes, but, like I said, Kevin is excellent with this. Just make sure you reach out to us. Well, yes, of course, Laura. And then somehow she brings up Luke or something, yada, 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 right? So Laura says, Robert, can you walk me out? So Robert goes out with Laura into the hallway, and the deputy mayor is in with Holly. And as soon as the door closed, she's like, what were you doing? You almost got us caught. Now, I don't know if you're a believer or because I guess they got different groups in Victor's camp, believing in his world domination, because that's what he plans on doing. And she goes, but you almost messed it up. And so Holly's looking at her like, what are you talking? She goes, I know you're working for Victor Cassadine, just like I am. Mm-hmm. And so she goes, you better get your act together, right? So Robert comes back in, and the deputy mayor's like, take my leave, because Laura told her, I'm going to go see my family. Then I'm going to come back to the office later tonight. And I expect you, whatever the deputy mayor's name is, to give me a complete rundown on what's been going on and what you've been doing. Of course, Mayor Collins. So Holly comes up, what were you and Laura talking about in the hallway? And she goes, oh, police. No, he had told the deputy mayor, we're done, no, was she there? Because Robert said, we were talking about city business. And once the deputy mayor left, Holly says, I know you weren't talking about city business in the hall with Laura. She's probably talking about me. And so Robert says, well, Laura is never going to fully just trust you, Holly, from, your days with Luke and the things you got into, because Laura told Robert, Holly will hook herself up with some unsavory people. And he goes, Laura, I know who Holly is, but I trust her with my life. Oh, you do, Robert? And so Laura says, well, you know what, Robert? I trust you with my life. So I guess that'll have to do, right? I guess that'll have to do. So Robert tells Holly, he told her the truth. Yeah, Laura's got some questions. And so he goes, but I believe you, Holly. I trust you. And so Holly smiles at him and goes to kiss him. Then that's all I ever need. But Robert is starting to think twice about Holly. He really, honestly is. He's starting to think twice about her, as he should. So then we have, let's see, I'm on this one. We have Michael and Willow. They're in the park. And this is before her doctor's appointment. It's in the afternoon. And watching Wiley, and she's talking about, she's just enjoying the day. It's a beautiful day, and he's talking about somehow Christmas came up, and oh my goodness, Christmas is coming so soon, and Wiley's going to have a sibling, and, things are going to change. And Willow made the statement about enjoying things while they can. And he goes, well, what is that supposed to mean? And she goes, well, just that, things are changing. Our family's growing from a trio to a quartet, and things are going to change. So it was a minor blah 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 conversation. And then of course Michael's phone rings. Actually TJ walks up and he says hi to both of them, and they're saying hello to him, and then Michael's phone rings. So he walks away. He goes, I got to take this. It's Aurora business. And I thought, he better not be called away, right? Better not be. Well, in the other part, the park, not too far away, is Nina and Sonny kissing on the park bench. Just, we got time to do all this little Nixon fall stuff with Nina. Mob boss, run the mob. Sonny, run the mob. They're transferring Anna tonight. What you doing about it? They haven't found Lucy's body. What you doing about it? We were having ice cream sundaes with Nina. We're at the park chilling with, get to work, man. So anyway, so they walk by. Now, TJ is talking to Willow, and she's telling him, I'm going to tell Michael today. He's going to the appointment with me, and I'm going to tell him. And he goes, good, Willow, because, you need that support. You're not going to be alone. And she goes, I know. So, of course, they hug each other. And my whole thing is, what, these hugs are getting to be a little bit much, a little bit too much, right? So, of course, as they're hugging, guess who walks up? Sonny and Nina. And Nina's looking like, And TJ and Willow are just looking at her. Sonny didn't think nothing of it, right? But, oh, Nina. And Wiley, TJ walks over to Wiley talking at the bench while Willow was saying something to Nina, and just very little. And Wiley sees her. Grandpa runs over, and Wiley. And then Sonny's like, hey buddy, hey. And Willow immediately pulls him back and says, oh, no, now's not a good time. And Sonny's like, wait, what? Well, we're here. He goes, no, now's not a good time. He could definitely see his grandpa Sonny this weekend. Just make arrangements for us, because there is Willow cannot be, with Wiley, Sonny. So let me say Nina can't be with Wiley. So Nina's like, let's just go, Sonny. Let's just go. He goes, but wait, why? He goes, let's just go, Sonny. Let's go. So Michael comes back and he says, everything okay here? And TJ takes little Wiley back, to the bench, kind of tries to, and Sonny goes, yeah, everything's fine. And they start walking away, right? And so Willow's like, yeah, no, he goes, were they harassing you? She goes, no, they were just walking by. She didn't, of course, say, and they saw me and TJ hugging each other. She didn't say that, right? So, of course, guess who has to tell Sonny her suspicions that there's something going on between TJ and Willow? And Sonny's like, what do you mean? I've seen them at the hospital, hugging, and then there's tears and this and that. Something's going on. And I'm thinking the tear part should have been your clue, chick. Right? Willow was crying. Should have been your clue. So Sonny says, I've known TJ all his life. He is not the kind of person that's going to have an affair like that. That is not him. And she goes, Sonny, you know as well as I do. Good people have affairs. Good people, anything. He goes, well, she goes, I'm just saying, that Michael needs to know. He goes, no, whoa, no. That is exactly what's not going to happen. And she's looking at him. He goes, that's not our business. And we're staying out of their business. Michael does not need to know. And we're not saying anything, right? But Michael's coming up, of course, and Michael doesn't need to know what. He goes, I don't need to know what. So we are going to, they'll either make up something or Nina will say, yeah, you need to watch your wife. And something will happen and then, they'll dismiss her, right? They'll dismiss Nina, or it'll be a big fight, a big argument between Sonny and Michael. But either way, what happens is Michael comes back to TJ and Willow. I mean, Michael's already back there. He's like, sorry about the call. And Willow gets a text from the nanny. She goes, oh, she's going to be late. She's not going to get here in time. And Michael says, yeah, but we'll miss the appointment then. So she goes, TJ, are you going back to GH right now? And he goes, yeah. So she goes, can I ride with you? Michael, you stay and wait for the nanny. As soon as she gets here, get to the hospital. Because he goes, we'll just bring Wiley to the hospital. She goes, no, that would be too boring for him. And no, and in her mind, she's like, no, she was getting bad news. She didn't want him there for that. She'll be in distress and Michael will be whatever Michael's going to be going through. So yeah, she was right about not wanting her son there, but Michael just didn't understand, So needless to say, TJ takes Willow to General Hospital. And of course, he's the one at her appointment sitting in the room there because Michael, at least it wasn't Aurora business. At least that wasn't it. But of course, it's TJ there hearing this news with Willow. And watch, if Nina does say, I've caught them hugging a number of times, watch. By the time Michael gets to General Hospital, Terry would have already given Willow the news, and Michael's going to walk in the office, and TJ and Willow will be hugging, and Willow will be crying. Watch them set that up like that. But anyway, once he finds out what's the problem, if she tells him, but you know what? She found out she's in stage 4. Stage 4. She's going to have to tell him. 100%. She's going to have to tell him. So we had a few minor stupid scenes with Heather. They're getting ready to transfer her back to Darkham, but she is talking about Jeff Weber and she's trying to tell Finn, I got some information that you need, but it's going to cost you. it'll call, and he goes, look, you don't have no information I need. So he's pretty much dismissing Heather. He doesn't want to hear not one thing Heather has to say or talk about, which is good because she's crazy. So we'll see if are they really taking her back. She didn't escape. What's going on? I don't know. But that pretty much was it for General Hospital today. Victor made a phone call because he was sent a picture of that necklace that Britt got out of this, that's in the bank vault. And he's like, that necklace is probably the missing piece that I'm looking for. So he's, of course, going to end up stealing that necklace. We already know that. So let's go to Comment Corner. Quite a few comments. I'm going to skim through these comments because it's like 28 of them. So I'm not going to read them all word for word. Steve says, honestly, I think Trina is better off with Cameron, especially after Jocelyn dumps him for Dex. I don't know. That'd be creepy. Joss and Cam have a sexual relationship. Okay, and now for it to switch back to Trina and Cam, that ain't right. Okay, I'd rather it be Trina and Spencer than Trina and Cam. No. Okay. It says the way they make Spencer more into a Corinthos than a Cassadine, pair him with Lila Ray Alcazar. And I forgot all about that little girl. And now she's not a little girl, right? Because I looked up her age. She is the same age as all of these other teens, young adults now. They could have her come back with some sass and fire, right? Wow. That could be a teen, not a teen, a young adult they bring back in. But I would rather let them bring Robin's daughter, Emma Drake, back to General Hospital. I really would I'd rather see that. And then Dare to Be Different says that Drew to leave when Sonny left. Sonny wasn't going to leave until he left. Sonny had already left. Carly was the one that said, quick, leave so he could see you leave. Sonny was already, Sonny at this point, Cardi hasn't said he's figuring out Drew is hanging around a lot, but Carly's not throwing Drew in his face. Carly does not have a problem throwing the men that she's seeing, from Jax to when she was seeing Alcazar to, she will flaunt her business all in front of Sonny. Cindis says, I heard Holly was only on the show for a short term. I also heard that she's already wrapped up her filming. Thank God. Because they wrote a whole stupid story for Holly. They could have done so much better with her character, and the writers chose not to. Let's see, the show shot several weeks in advance. They always do. If they've gotten back on schedule, soaps used to always be 2 months ahead. COVID kind of jacked things up a bit. So then when they finally came back to shooting, they had to really work extra hard to get episodes in the can again. And then Patricia said, I only hope Ethan comes back. Otherwise, I agree with you. Holly coming back would be so. Well, Luke isn't there. Ethan, there's nothing that Ethan has in Port Charles. So I don't see Ethan coming back at all. And Cindy says, there has been no Hook assaults since Rory and Trina went out of town, and since Esme has been in the Windermere Tower. Of course, it doesn't mean the Hook is Rory or Esme, but it would be very exciting to reveal, to have the Hook be the ADA who lost Trina's case. It's not going to be the ADA. NK says, Gladys is right. Sasha's husband just died. She doesn't have a second income to rely on. So it would not be good for her to forego income in a company that she only has 5% of, Gladys isn't stupid. She's looking at, girl, how we gonna pay our rent? But there is still quite a bit of money in Sasha's bank account, quite a bit of money. Okay. And then Lisa said, very true. She definitely does. She definitely needs that income. Lisa says, Dex standing there listening to Joss and Cameron talking. How nosy is he? My goodness, Jocelyn, how many times has Carly told her to let it go about Sonny cheating? I know, let it go. Jocelyn listening to Carly talk to Drew about hiding the relationship from Sonny. Maxie should not have told Austin about Spinelli's illegal program. Exactly. And I don't know that she said it was illegal, right? But she still should not have opened her mouth. That was private, Maxie. And then Tom says, Cam is acting weird. And hello there says, how was he weird? Joss is the one acting weird. She needs to grow up. And then Tom says he didn't want Dex to make sure he got home, and he had a strange smile on his face. I agree. Joss is acting weird, guilty. Cameron had a strange smile on his face because when he walked up on Dex and Jocelyn, and he's like, what's going on here? And Jocelyn saw him. The way she ran and just pretty much hugged the life out of him, that made him smile because he's like, yeah, okay, my girl is showing me this affection in front of this guy, that, yeah, I'm the one she loves. That's what he thought that hug was all about. She was just really worried about him. And then hello there says, well, sure, because he sees Dex as a threat to his relationship and is too young and immature to see past it. So Cam won't want to go anywhere with him. Yeah, I'm just happy he made it home safe because I thought that was a bonehead move. Woo. And then Robin says maybe Willow will let Michael in on her sickness. Hope nothing comes up to prevent Michael but I think Michael will have the option to leave it up to Willow when she starts the treatment. Well, look, Willow's going to have no choice. From what they're saying, treatment may be limited now. Maybe Drew may have saved Cam's life from the hook killer because Drew came up, it was spooky and Cam heard something. I know Cam heard something. It ended up being Drew, but that could have been something if that was a hook killer. Actually, on that bridge, that would have been something. And then Sherry says, Dex did not do what Sonny said. He left Cam alone. LaShunta says, Cam's grown. He said, no. Sonny can't get mad. Dex could have took Jocelyn home, but I guess he wanted to Mashur. Or maybe Sonny wanted to do that. He knew that's his stepdaughter, ex-stepdaughter. He should take her home, and he needed Dex to see Nina home and Cameron, but Cameron made his choice. Patricia said Cam said no, and Nina witnessed this, so Sonny can't blame Dex. That is so true. And Nancy says, I read somewhere that the character Rory is leaving, so I'm wondering if he could end up as the next victim. Might be. Lisa says, I heard he was going to join the show Chicago PD. Cinda said, I heard that too. I can't blame him for moving on. They brought him into GH and didn't develop the character or give him much to do. The good thing about Rory being picked up by Primetime, it's rare for soap opera characters to do that. They get pigeonholed in soap opera land, and they somehow can't get out. And they have some really, really good actors that acted. So actually, they'd have to learn more lines and do more acting in soap operas, filming a new show every day than any series does. Series usually has 13 to if you're lucky, and if you're cable, 26 episodes, and that's a long season. Other than that, they're not working all year round at all on a series. On soap operas, they're working. Now, yeah, we may not see every character every day, but they have to really put out for their craft, and they just get pigeonholed. And Anna Rihanna says Willow will lie to the end. I agree that something will come up again, and Michael will have another excuse. Well, this time it wasn't another excuse. It was the babysitter not making it there. Maxie is brilliant at business and horrible at relationships. Girlfriend, if your man is acting shady, he is shady. And look, Austin definitely acts very, very shady. Very, very shady. I'm going to keep skimming on down because I'm trying to get to the end of this. Hello there says, I bet Nina will catch wind about Willow's illness before Michael and tell him herself. Nina is a real snark poo. She has her moments, but in general, I can't stand her, especially with Sonny. Anna Rihanna says, I am in complete agreement with you about Nina. I absolutely cannot bear with her. The dislike for her in Port Charles is warranted. She's a busybody and is always trying to stir the pot. Yes, she is. But you know what? She don't act like that in front of Sonny in at all, right? She's like, so me? I don't know why they said that to me. Yeah, Nina. LaShunta says Josh is so hard-headed. Now Cam's being stubborn because of Dex. Maxie's character's dumbed down. Why would she tell Austin Spinelli's secret? He told her in confidence. Sonny and Nina make me nauseous. Drew is so hard-headed. Carly asked him to leave. Now Jocelyn sees them kiss. That's right. Jordan, they treat you like dirt. Jordan tell it when she was telling Portia about herself. It's going to end badly for Portia. The only person that can't see it is Portia. Carly lost her memory when Sonny shot her in the head when she gave birth to Morgan. Remember during that Lorenzo Alcazar storyline. Yeah, I remember that. And that is the end of the comments and comment corners. Thank you so much for participating. Love our comment corners. I will be back tomorrow for Tuesday's episode of General Hospital.